Hey there, budding botanists. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Eve.
And we're just a couple of backyard botanists, and this is Botany for Kids. And today, we're talking about a super cool plant family, the Fabaceae, also known as the
Pea or bean family.
Yes, the pea or the bean family. And they are a really cool family because they have a special ability to make their own fertilizer. Do you remember what fertilizer is for?
Fertilizer makes plants grow. It helps them grow.
Yes, it helps plants grow. So first we have to remember some basics of plants and how they make their own food, like we've talked about before. So what is in the air that we breathe?
Oxygen.
Oxygen. Where does that oxygen come from? Plants. Plants use the green stuff inside of them called chlorophyll. They take the energy from the sun, they suck up the water from their roots, and then they split off that water and they leave us oxygen to breathe. And when they do that, they make their own sugars. Do you remember what that process is called?
Photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis. Very good, Evie. Crushing it. You okay?
I'm looking at the well.
Photosynthesis, right? Now, there's another thing we can talk about that's also in the air that plants need. Do you know what else is in the air besides oxygen?
It's another element.
Another element. Very good. It's called nitrogen. And nitrogen is used by plants to make the green chlorophyll that they use to photosynthesize. And the pea and bean family plants have the ability to capture that nitrogen and turn it into fertilizer for themselves too. And that's a really cool trick. They do so by kidnapping the bacteria in the soil.
Oh, there's a boat.
The little bacteria are like, don't kidnap us. And the bean family plants are like, come here. And so they steal these little bacteria in the soil and they store them in their roots in these little tiny balls that we call nodules. And you want to show them some of that? Not nostrils, nodules. All right. So do you want to show them one of these plants and the root nodules? Show the roots here. So there's these little chunks on these roots. You may be able to see them. We'll zoom in a little closer soon. But these little nodules are filled with little bacteria that we call rhizobia. And these bacteria take that nitrogen from the air and they help the plant make their own fertilizer. And it's a really cool trick that pea family plants can do, and it really helps them enrich their own soil. The problem with that, of course, is that sometimes they get a little too strong and they can be bullies in the plant world. Do you remember what we call bullies in the plant world?
Invasive.
Invasives. Very good, Evie. So,
you're invading your personal space.
a lot of pea family plants can be invasives because they make their own fertilizer. All right? Now, we've got some flowers to look at today because they also have very special flowers. One of which you just dropped on the floor. We also have an ambulance going by. So maybe we'll pause here and, well, they're on their way out. So, show them some of these pea family plants. Okay, now, the flowers. You want to tell them a little bit about flowers in the pea family?
Well,
here, come here.
Why don't
Scoot on down. Oh, that might work. Show them the pea family plant.
This is a flower in the pea family. It's a later version of the color of my sword, as you can see.
And what's special about it? What are the different names of the parts of that flower?
Well, these little things, like, you see the, outside part that's bigger than the rest of the flower, that's, big? That's called a banner.
Yep, there's different parts to the pea florets, these little tiny flowers on this pea flower.
And the smaller things that are basically that same thing but tiny with they look like wings. They're called wings.
Very good. And do you remember what that thing in the middle is called?
The thing in the middle is actually called a keel.
All right. Well, we will definitely go very good. So this little individual flower is called a floret. This whole flower right here, this whole flower from This is from a native wisteria. There are lots of invasive wisterias. This is a native Kentucky wisteria. This whole thing is called an inflorescence, or a flower arrangement, right? And it blooms from the bottom up. So we call it a raceme. But Evie's got an individual floret. And so we'll go see, we've got some other pea family plants in the yard, and we can show you the parts of those little florets. See if it'll focus for you. We'll go find some other pea family plants in the yard, and we'll show you these individual florets and review the parts with you. Sound good? Okay.
So this is a wild indigo with a raceme, which is a raceme because it's bottom up.
Very good. And what family is it in?
Pea family.
Very good.
Which you can kind of tell from the middle part, which is the keel here. It looks kind of like a bean.
Exactly. Yeah, very good, Evie.
And then just
So, tell them about the parts of the little floret there.
Well, the parts of the floret, this one isn't open yet, so you can't really see it, but it's closest to the camera. These are the...
No, you can go down one, baby.
Okay. This is the keel. No, banner.
Yep.
The outside part is the banner. These are the wings.
Very good.
And the keel is the part that looks kind of like a bean. This one is about to open up and bloom, and it doesn't look like a bean when it blooms.
Okay, so like always, let's zoom in and look at a little more detail and characteristics of plants in the pea or bean family. Here, you can see one of those little root nodules that hold those bacteria that make fertilizer for plants in the bean family. Here, we can see flowers in the bean family with their banner, their wings, and their keel. Now, if we pull that keel open, which I did right over here, you can actually see the stamens. And sticking up out of the middle is that stigma, or the tip of the pistil.
So you may be wondering what a fruit from the bean family looks like, and we have one right here. It is called a legume. I'm pretty sure it's from something with a redwood in its name.
Yes, so this is from an eastern redbud that we've got growing in the garden too. You've probably seen many beans or peas at the grocery store before. Things like soybeans or green beans. These are all in the bean or the pea family.
This is what we have in our yard.
Yes, the botanical term for the fruit is called a legume, though. Okay? And so this is what those flowers that we saw, these flowers turn...
Like this.
Yes. Turn into legumes. So one more time, special characteristics of the Fabaceae or bean family. They can make their own fertilizer using these little rhizobia or bacteria from the soil. They have...
They're not poisonous though, I don't think.
Complex inflorescences that we call racemes because they bloom from the bottom up.
And little florets.
Yep, the little florets have special parts to them. What are those special parts called again?
Banner, wing, keel.
Banner, wings, keel. Very good. And those flowers turn into these fruits that we call legumes. Now, it's springtime. It's a good time to get outside and see if you can find some members of the pea or the bean family. So if you get a chance, grab a responsible adult.
Like him.
Like me. It's questionable.
He got bit by a snake.
Yeah, I got bit by a snake last week, so.
That was possible.
Always be careful when you're walking around the woods outside. We were walking around a creek with some boulders.
He tried to get me off a walk I was stuck on, and he got bit by a copperhead.
I got bit by a copperhead. I had sandals on. Always a good idea if you're going to be off the trail in the woods to wear some boots, even if they're hot
like him.
and
but
uncomfortable.
Anyways, back to the outro.
All right. So,
grab a responsible
adult.
Unlike him, go outside.
And see if you can find some members of the bean family. As always, I'm Aaron.
And I'm Evie.
And this is Botany for Kids.
Bye, besties.